Entering frame. Three, two, one. Frame. Phew. What's up, y'all? And by y'all, I mean person on the other side of this video. I don't know who you are. Chances are you don't know who I am either. Um, and that's a beautiful thing. The algorithm has brought us here in some weird way. So, whether you are a new dad or a dad to be, or just someone who the algorithm is feeding in a video that you would think to be interesting, hey man, welcome. Um, so, who am I? Well, I am a new dad, and I have a 16-day-old son in the bedroom behind me, and my wife is currently feeding him. And so there's a little moment here where I get to just share my experience with you. A little bit more to who I am, though, before I do that. So, like I said, 16-day-year-old kiddo, very, very new, very, very fresh, super cute. Got the new baby smell. Beautiful baby boy. Uh, Also, on top of that, not only am I a new father, I'm also kind of an old father as well. I'm 40 years old, and this is my first kiddo. And so, I am not a spring chicken. And maybe in another video, I'll get into kind of my feelings around being an older father. But for this one, I just want to introduce myself and then also kind of give you or my experience of what the first 16 days have been like for new dad that has also been a very ignorant dad as well. And but what I mean by that is ignorant in the way that I've had no experiences with kids or babies, let alone babies, up to this point. I've been, I've kind of isolated myself from those experiences intentionally until I got my own little one. And here I am, coming in with almost no knowledge of or handling of little ones, especially little ones. Uh, and so that's who I am in a nutshell. And the reason why I'm creating this video is kind of twofold. The first reason is I am creating this to just document my journey. I truly think that parenthood, fatherhood, motherhood, that is the ultimate journey. That is it's the ultimate journey, and also like just talking to new parents myself, or not new parents, but people who have raised kids, they say that it goes very quickly and it's all kind of a blur. So, to kind of mitigate that and to keep more of, or just to 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 not have it slip away so quickly, I'm just going to document my thoughts and my feelings and my observations, just to make it immortalize some of it. You know what I mean? A little bit more. So that's reason number one. Reason number two is I'm making this because, I know that there is a lot of content out there for new moms, but there isn't a lot of content for new dads. And the content for new dads that I've found has been, pretty, let's say, I don't know if skewed is the right word, or slanted, or kind of romanticized. There's a lot of content that is very, I think, floating on cloud nine. And not a lot of content that shows both like the realness of both, kind of the highs and lows of being a new dad. And I want to put out a real honest kind of tale from the tape, like this is the trenches, and this is a report that's coming from the trenches. Um, coarse voice and all. This is actually not my normal voice. But I've been through it. Me and my wife the last 16 days. it has been it has been taxing. Um, for this video, I kind of want to just give you a couple takeaways that I have observed, and a couple of tips and some reflections that I've had so far, uh, in hopes that, I don't know, maybe this resonates with you somehow, or maybe you get something helpful out of this. But I will say, I'm not a pediatrician. I'm not an expert in any ways. I am a new dad, and I am completely, I go from moments of, aha, okay, okay, that's how you do it, to moments of just complete overwhelm and exhaustion. So, without further ado, y'all, uh, let's get into it. So, takeaway number one is this. I don't know if you can see this. Boom. Takeaway number one. It's a full send, man, from day one. And what I mean by this is, the moment that baby comes, well, in the hospital, you get your support. There's the nurses, there's the doctors, and whatnot, and they are helping you along the way, and they have all the expertise on tap that you can ask them in the moment. But the moment that they hand it over to you, and hand your kiddo to you, and you walk out of that hospital or birth center or whatnot, it's 100% on, 110% on. So I don't think there's any other experience in life where you are just fully, just parachuted in. Not even parachuted in. That makes it sound like you're kind of like lofting in, controlled, where you're just dropped in immediately into the deep end. For me, and for me and my wife, yeah, that's definitely what it felt like. I remember getting out to the car and trying to put baby into the car seat, and and, I've watched the video, like, I watched videos, hours of videos on how to put a kid in the car seat, but there's no substitute to real life scenarios. And so I was like 99% sure that I had the kid in there right, but just that 1%, maybe you're doing it wrong. I I I I shoot, man, what am I trying to say? I'm gonna have to cut this out. No, let's just keep going. So I put the kid in, and then I took the kid out, and I went back up into the the whatever, the baby unit, and asked one of the nurses to help me and my wife put the kid in. So we felt very secure about that. But I will tell you, man, so that car ride home is the most focused car ride you will ever be. You will check your mirrors so many times. At least for me, every time you stop, every time you take a turn, you're going to double or triple check, because you have some important cargo on board. And yeah, cargo that doesn't have a manual. But so, yeah, takeaway number one, got a little away from that lesson, but takeaway number one is, uh, full send right away. No ramping period. You're just kind of in it. Takeaway number two. Is, you're going to be tired, man. You're going to be tired, and tired, capital tired. And here you can see tired, and I put a tired with an exponential sign there, because that's how you're going to feel. You're going to understand the true definition of exhaustion. Those first 72 hours for me and my wife, we maybe got like 2 hours a day. So 6 hours total in those first 72 hours. So you were running off of fumes, and then the fumes dry out, and then you're running off of what I can only say as another gear. Like you find something else. It's a different kind of energy. It's the energy of extreme responsibility. And that's what you're running off of. So you will understand. You will understand. I don't, I didn't understand fatigue up until about 2 weeks ago. And now I get it. Now I get it. Which brings me to my first tip of the video. This is a cautionary tip, cautionary advice here. Don't fall asleep with your baby, with your son, your daughter, your newborn, with them on your couch or on your recliner. This is something that has been repeated to us from our midwives and nurses and people who, and our doula as well. Like, you're going to be extremely tired, but and there's a high chance that you may doze off. But if you do doze off, or if you're feeling extremely tired and you're on the couch or whatnot, and you have the baby on you, don't have the wherewithal to like change your situation, um, because um, because because there is a chance that you may fall asleep, and with the kid on your chest, they may slide to one side or the other and get pinned, or kind of trapped in the crevices of a couch, and you'll be knocked out because you'll be so tired that uh, you may not have the reactionary time to remedy that situation, and that's a pretty serious situation too. So tip number one: you will be tired, uh, but be wary of being tired while on a couch with your kid on you. Like that could be that could be no bueno, man. So tip number one. Okay, moving on to takeaway number three. Takeaway number three is pay attention. Pay attention to your wifey. So what do I mean by this? So your wife has just gone through or your wife or your spouse or your partner. In my case, it's my wife. Your your person has gone through an extremely difficult time. A traumatizing time. Something that they've they've spent, that has really taken a toll on their body emotionally, on their body and their mind. So like emotional and physical taxation. And your job is to lessen the mental and physical load that they have to deal with after pregnancy. So let's first start with the mental load here. So you need to pay attention to, or you need to anticipate what your partner is going to need. So for example, for me, that's tracking how much water my wife has in her water bottle, and she carries two water bottles. One water bottle, or Nalgene, or whatever you want to call it, insulated drink thingy. She has just straight water, and the second one she has water and electrolytes in there. And what you want to do is you want to track those levels, and you want to track when and how much she's eating as well. Like, these are things that you want to be on top of. You want to make sure that you're reminding them to eat, but also not reminding them, but also getting them the food, because for the most part they're going to be laid up in bed or on their recliner or whatnot, because they are healing from giving birth, which is I mean, they squeeze a little kiddo out. So, that's 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 gonna take that takes so much out of them. Um, so yeah, pay attention to your partner's needs, and even better, be ahead of them. Is what I'm trying to say. Be ahead of them. So you will be like you will be a water boy, basically. And your Brita's gonna get a lot of mileage during these first, I guess, like several weeks. They're constantly needing to drink, constantly needing to eat, because they're producing milk, they are healing the damage that has occurred in the uh, that has occurred because of pregnancy. So, hot tip number two, I guess. Yep, two is get yourself a tray, my guy. Get yourself a tray. Get yourself one of these. This is, you see this? Are you seeing this? This little platform right here. This is what you need. Uh, it's easy to carry multiple items. They're gonna need multiple kinds of drinks, snack, what have you, and they need a. This is good to have because then it's kind of like a room service. You just fill it up, load it up with the goodies that they need, plunk it down in front of them. But you got to get yourself one of these. Okay. Tip number three, I guess it's takeaway number three. You got to cherish the small details. Okay. And I'm talking about your kiddo. I will say, someone told me that the baby that you bring home the day of delivery day, so that first day that you have baby, when they release you from the hospital, when you bring that kiddo home, there'll be a considerable change between their form, their kind of their features, just the way they kind of look and are that first day to now. And it's it's easy, and I know you're going to be in this weird like fog of war with a newborn, and it's easy to just kind of go into kind of autopilot, taking care of your wife needs and whatnot. But just take a moment to get real close to your son or your daughter, and just like study their face, or appreciate all the features. Get real close, like the smell of their skin. It's like this newborn smell is just something that you have never smelled before. It smells like innocence and um softness. There's a purity to it. Study the ridges of like their ears or their eyebrows, like feel the softness of their hair. Look over their body for birthmarks. You know, caress their little toes and their hands, and just get up there and just kind of like snuggle your face in with theirs. I can tell you, almost in disbelief, that it is true. Like my son looks different than the first day. Um, the head shape changes, like his face is filling out. They grow up so fast. That's it's important to soak in all the little details because you don't get any redos. You know what I mean? So you can't. There's no rewind button. So as much as you can, man, just get in there and just appreciate the tiny, tiny details. They're super cute. They're super adorable, and they shift quickly. Uh, yeah, and let's see, is that my last card? That's my last card, guys. Rando on YouTube. Those are my takeaways, my tips, my really sleepy, fatigue tips. So sorry, you might have to watch this on 1.25 speed. Skip some long pauses here because my brain is not. I don't have full access to my entire brain. Uh, you lose. You're kind of a zombie. You're a zombie. But it is really hard the first 2 weeks. It is also really, you will have some really special moments with your kid. Like they're so damn adorable and so cute when they're sleeping. And when they're wailing like a banshee, well, that's something else. That's something you'll deal with. But you're 100% capable of doing that. Uh, yeah, that's it. To everyone out there, I hope you are having hope you're finding some joy today, kiddo or no kiddo. And yeah, I hope to kind of keep going with this series. This is the first video I'm putting out, but I want to put out kind of just videos about my observations, my reflections, and some tips and tactics and techniques that I learn along the way. Hopefully, this is something someone can connect to out there in the worldwide world, the big world that we live in. I know. So, all right, all right, my dudes, all right, my dads, all right, my procrastinators on YouTube. That the algorithm has somehow connected us in some weird way. I'll catch you in the next one. Bye bye.